I'm so happy to see you. I don't need to introduce myself because you all know me, but I'm happy that we are able to come back. The CEO group, we used to meet once a month at the London Club. Today I decided that we come here so we can have a different environment, enough space for networking. I've missed each one of you. I want you to know that. And I believe that we have missed each other, so thank you so much. We are going to keep it simple. Lily is the one who is leading the meeting, not me, but I want to quickly introduce to you the regional directors of the Entrepreneur Nation who have been leading the company while I've been away, and they are also franchise owners. So there are only 3 that were able to make it, so please come forward. Only 3 were able to make it, but we are about 15 regional directors so far. The company is growing very fast. That is what is new. So I want them to introduce themselves quickly and even tell you why they decided to buy the franchise. Peter Nima has come all the way from Guelph. He's an accountant. Stacey has come all the way from Oshawa. Let them speak to you. But we'll start with Natalie because she has been a franchise owner for over 6 years. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Lovely to reconnect with everyone. It wasn't far. I'm 5 minutes away. So it was a pleasure to come out here and get some free breakfast. So everyone knows me. I'm a lawyer here in London. I've been here about 10 years, and I have to say it was the entrepreneurship that was instrumental in connecting me with the business community. That was the reason that I got involved in it, because Lucy reached out to me. And I've been part, as Lucy said, since 2019. And I think the key reason that I became a franchise owner back in 2019 is that I needed some positivity in my business life. The area of law that I practice is not considered happy law, and so I needed something that made me feel part of the London community, but also something that got me up in the morning. And I would say that I've gotten great satisfaction of working with members in the entrepreneurship, bringing them together, having them share their expertise and knowledge, and supporting each other's business. So this is my retirement plan. If I ever retire, Lucy and I keep talking about it and keep pushing it further and further away. But I would say that I joined the entrepreneurship and became a franchise owner because of Lucy. She says, oh, I invested in the company. No, I invested in her and her vision and her passion. And she brings together such an amazing group of people that have built this wonderful, supportive family of business leaders, business owners, and entrepreneurs. And I basically own the London franchise. Lucy got me to buy the whole city. So.
Peter?
Okay.
Well.
Hi, everyone. My name's Peter Niemeyer. I am a CPA in Guelph, Ontario, and I'm the franchise owner of the Guelph chapter of the Entrepreneur Nation. So similar to Natalie's story, it was Lucy who really got me involved and hooked on everything. I would say, earlier in my career, and I thought that I knew how to network and that I knew how to have good referrals, and I learned a lot from the experience. That experience connecting with people within the community, getting to know people at a much more intimate level that are professionals within the community as well too, sharing knowledge, having the opportunity to share referrals and receive referrals has been huge in growing my practice and to continue in achieving the goals that I set for myself. And after doing that for several years, the opportunity to purchase the Guelph chapter came up, and it's been a fantastic decision. I'm early in that portion of owning this chapter, but very excited to go forward to steward it as well as to continue to grow it and to create combined success for all the people within our community that are part of it, that are members, and that have entrusted us with it. So thank you very much, Lucy, for inviting me here and for the opportunity to purchase the franchise.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stacey Brooks. I am the franchise owner for the newly formed Whitby chapter, with plans to move over to Oshawa as well. So I drove all the way from the East End to come and be with you guys, so it's a pleasure to be here, meet you all. I met Lucy on LinkedIn because she is a LinkedIn aficionado and connected with her to find out what the business was about. I spent about 25 years of my life in business development and relationship management and working with independent entrepreneurs, and understand that the growth of business is based on an ecosystem of the right centers of influence in that business. And I like connecting people and resources together. So when the opportunity was presented itself to start the Whitby chapter, it only made sense to have a chapter in the Durham region because there's so many professionals there. And again, to grow within the ecosystem of everyone's individual pursuit, it's great to have great centers of influence and like-minded business owners to network with. So it's been a pleasure to meet Lucy and to meet some of the other regional leaders. I'm still new into owning my franchise and growing it, and I look forward to expanding it as well. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wanted to introduce, and they don't have to speak, the TV crew that we have. They always follow me to Mississauga, to wherever. So we'll start with Karim. Karim is the key leader. Wherever you have seen me recording TV is the one who does that. We have Oz. Oz has actually been a member of the Entrepreneur Nation for 4 or 5 years. Thank you so much. And we have Mohammed. So we are going to put you on TV today, CEOs. We actually ended the video. If you say something that you don't want it to be there, we'll end it. We'll send it to you first. You watch before we put it on TV. I know we have lawyers, so I don't want to be sued. So with that said, the Entrepreneur Nation has grown because of getting the right legal guidance by my lawyer, my franchise lawyer, Larry Crossan. I think I have express permission to talk about Larry on LinkedIn whenever I want. So I do that. So it's because of Larry. I think in 2019, when I called it the Entrepreneur Nation, I realized that, and it was speaking very fast, I realized that people were going to steal the name. So I wanted to trademark, and I didn't know where to go. I looked for a trademark lawyer, I couldn't find. So I don't know how I came across Lexcom Business Lawyers, and I read and saw that they do franchising. So I wrote an email to Lele, and he actually replied. I felt honored that I received your reply. And he gave me an appointment. I went and met Lele. You know my excitement. I was very excited about what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing. And so Lele listened to me. It was a great favor that you did to me, Lele. He listened to me. And Lele told me, Lucy, I saw the excitement in you because I'm really not the level of their client. Actually, Bernie Olansky said another time that Lucy is our baby client because they deal with big clients. So I feel like I'm baby, I feel like treated well in this family, Lexcom Business Lawyers, and I want Lele today to lead the meeting and to share with you the journey I've walked with him. Thank you, Lele.
Good morning. This is a tough introduction, I guess, to follow up with. My mind is split on so many things. I mean, Lucy is definitely very kind. She didn't need a lot of hand-holding. We don't have that much bigger clients. You know, I mean, people know what business is like in London. Clients are clients. And Bernie and I mean, he'll tell you the same thing. I mean, we answer all emails. So unless it's, pure spam or something like that. So, it's just, I mean, London's a small city, and I mean, it's not small by some standards, but, people are friendly, and people just kind of treat each other with a lot of respect. And that's, what makes it a nice place to live and raise kids and have a family and all that stuff. Lucy asked me to chair this, but really this is about what everybody's up to. And so I'm going to give you like one little thing about our office right now. I'll say a few things for Bernie to talk about. What we really want to do is get everybody up and share a couple of minutes about what they're up to, where they're at, who they are. Most people know most people in the room right now, but not everybody knows everybody. So, introduce yourself. Who do you work for, or what's your business? Sorry. And a little bit about what you're up to and what's, new and exciting in your world, business world or otherwise. For us, interestingly enough, Bernie and I have been together, I guess, 28 years, but the office started 30 years ago this month. It was shortly after the 1995 election, and unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of that election and lost. I was running for the provincial Liberals at the time, And that was the Common Sense Revolution. I don't know if anybody can remember some of that. And I was running against Diane Cunningham, who won hands down in London North Centre. And so the day after the election, seriously, I had been working at McCarthy Tetro, the London office of McCarthy Tetro at the time. And the day after the election, no shade of a lie, the phone started ringing, and it was like, so you ready to get back to some real work now? And so some of the clients I'd been working with at McCarthy's had started calling me up, and I said, yeah, what do you need? And you know, it just kind of snowballed from there. And then next thing I know, my wife says, the house is getting too busy. I think you need to get an office. So we moved downtown, and we haven't looked back since. So anyway, that's just a little bit of an introduction. How do people, Lucy thinks that we need to come up here to speak because of the electronics that are up here. I don't like podiums. I like, you know, round tables and stuff. But I think we should just go around the room and take turns. I don't want to necessarily start with our table, but do we just go by volunteers, or do we just, you know,
So
do you want to go by table?
Yeah, so we go with your business partner.
Sorry,
Business partner.
Okay, well then after Bertie, then it'll be Patricia, then we'll go to this table, that table, and that table. And anybody who hasn't spoke yet, or if anybody's got something more to say, or like Peter or Natalie or Stacy or whatever, yeah, come on up here. So I guess it's your turn, Bernie, and I'm not going to monopolize, that's for sure.
Good morning, everyone. I picked the wrong table, obviously. For the people who are in the CEO's Club, most of you know that we do strictly corporate commercial business law, help small, medium, large businesses, if they decide to do work in London, Ontario, with all aspects of their business legal needs, from sort of giving advice on structuring their businesses to transactional work, buying and selling businesses, and then succession planning. How do you end up moving on to the next phase of your life, like Lucy's been talking about with Natalie forever. But what do you do when you're retired? Are you going to sell it? You're going to move it on to your kids, that sort of thing. So those are the kinds of things that we do. But really happy to see all the friendly faces back since our last meeting at the London Club. Oh, one other thing, we were supposed to say something that's new in our lives. So since COVID, our office has really embraced the working remotely concept. And I think our building has had one person in it for about the last 5 years. Everybody, is really comfortable working remotely. We've kind of proven to ourselves that we can do this. Larry works from Florida in the winter, from the Ottawa Valley in the summer. My kids are in Houston, Texas, so I spend a lot of time working from there. And it all seems to, continue without a hitch. So we are looking at listing our building on Wellington Street, just north of Victoria Park. So listing should go up in a few days, and you should all take a look at it. If anybody's looking at about 3,300 square feet, it'd be it's a beautiful spot, and somebody's going to be really lucky to get it. And although we're sad to let it go, it seems like that's what our staff wants, and we just, as you all know, a successful business means keeping your staff happy and engaged. So that's what's new with us. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Patricia Berenson from the Trauma Healing Center of London. Great to be here, and nice to see you again, Lucy. And I can also attest to working with Larry. We've worked together, and it has been an amazing experience. He's very easy to work with, talk with, so I would highly recommend them. In terms of what is new, there's a lot new that's happening. We see an increase in because I'm a psychotherapist and working with trauma, a lot of people are struggling with just the current political climate. Just lots and lots of anxiety. People still haven't recovered from COVID. I think we're going to be seeing the fallout from that for a very, very long time. Something else that's new is I have a new book that I have a chapter in. So this one is about how to appreciate others' differences. So I have a few copies if people are interested. The other thing that I have been involved in is establishing, 5 years ago, I co-founded a not-for-profit called Community Counseling London. And what I would ask of you is, if I could be so bold, at some point today, to take out your phone and look up Community Counseling London, because we provide subsidized counseling for people who fall on hard times and maybe don't have benefit plans, newcomers to London. And those are the people that we serve there. And I was inspired to do that. I've had that vision for maybe 15 years before it came to fruition. And I was inspired because I worked with a lot of law-involved youth. And I was thinking, like, doggone it, like, if they need help, they can't come to my office because they won't be able to afford to pay. And it was always my dream to support a not-for-profit so that someday those troubled people that I used to work with will have a place to go. So that has been really, really fun, rewarding, and a heck of a lot of work because, like Lucy was saying, it just evolves, right? Things happen organically, and all I knew was I wanted to start that. And then over time, it just has grown and grown, and we train other students, master's level students, so that they can become good therapists. So it's a really great way for businesses to get involved and to pay it forward. So that's what's new. Thank you. It's great to see everyone.
So thank you very much. I'm Alex Hannum, President and CEO of MedPoint Healthcare. It's good to see everyone's familiar faces. Thank you, Lucy, for the invite. It's always funny to say what's new, and it's like every day there's something new. So it's not where do you even start? We have opened. We have grown substantially since probably the last time we all talked. We started years ago in 2007 with one doctor, who was my wife. Today we have 38 doctors. Thank you. And we started with 3 or 4 staff, and today we have over 60 staff. So we have opened numerous locations for our specialists. So we opened some more spaces out in the North London. We took over the former spine center. We didn't take over the spine center, we took over their space. The 700 people that are waiting for a spine doctor think that we are the new spine doctor. We are not, but we have their space. And we have so we took over that with a couple of other doctors. And we've actually found that we're creating quite a big neurology center. We took over this clinic that had 2 neurologists. One of them is going to be leaving to go to Nova Scotia. And when she was leaving, she put it out there saying, I need someone to take my patients. And we actually picked up 2 more neurologists and maybe a 3rd one that's going to be joining. So we'll have potentially 4 neurologists. The wait time for a neurologist is 2 years in London, and our wait time will be under a month for our clients. I have a lease on my desk right now to open in Burlington. We have a spot, I guess we haven't really officially announced it, but it's right at the Walker's Line and the QEW. 3 million people a day will go by our location with a big MedPoint sign, because we'll have naming rights on the building. And we will open up, people will come up the elevator to the 6th floor, and it will open right to our reception. We have the entire floor. So we're really excited about going into that market. We're also looking at the Kitchener market. We were looking at Guelph as well, but we could only do one thing at a time. Ironically, we're trying to do about 50 things at the same time. And my staff basically fired me. They said, okay, you know what, this place runs a lot better when you're not here. So they've all taken on different roles, which is great. I'm weaseling my way back into interfere with their lives. But some of our divisions are just crushing it. Like our fitness division has already hit its 75% of its entire year goal already, and it's only June. Our executive health is growing like crazy, as Terry mentioned, with the doctor challenges that are happening. We are getting busier and busier and busier. And we're trying to market into smaller markets. So we've got a promotion happening in Sarnia right now, a promotion happening in Chatham, and do a little bit of micro marketing, and it seems to be working quite well. And we are about to launch a new healthcare service that includes Maple, which is a virtual care provider and partner of ours, Inkblot, which is a EFAP program that has some mental health components to it, virtual fitness, virtual yoga, virtual dietitian, and in-person specialty clinics where people who don't have a family doctor can come and see us. The value of this service is about $2,000, $3,000 per year. We're about to launch it to the general public for only $24.95 a month. So just Maple alone to buy is $80 a month. So we have obviously special rates. So we are going to try and tackle there's 140,000 people in London without a family doctor. There's going to be 4.4 million people in Ontario by the end of 2026 without a family doctor. So this will allow us to provide some access to the general population at an affordable rate. So ask me again in 10 minutes and there'll be 6 more things that are happening. But anyway, good to see everybody, and that's why I'm losing all my hair. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Lucy. I think we've lost Lucy, for inviting me, and it's great to see everyone's faces again. My name's Janice D. Tomasis, and I'm from Cohen-Hiley. I'm the Chief Operating Officer there. And what's new since we've last met? We opened a Windsor office last year. We've just doubled it and renovated, and we've renovated our Strathroy office. So needless to say, we've got offices in southwestern Ontario is kind of our market, and we're finding working remotely. I mean, COVID brought us together, but it's a matter of connection. So we're trying to keep everybody connected. We recently embarked on a strategic planning process and a retreat to bring people together. I like to think we're right sized. We're not too big and not too small. We're a fairly full service firm, but trying to keep people connected and dealing with any kind of HR issues before they evolve is a task. So it's lots of fun, but it's really, I think we're all in some kind of a relationship business to some degree, so it's really maintaining those relationships and figuring out kind of succession planning along the way. So that's kind of what's new at our firm.
Hello, I'm Terry Zavitz, and I used to be president, CEO, grand poobah, absolutely anything of Zavitz Insurance and Wealth. It's a specialty company that I started 42 years ago. It started as a specialty company in the field of disability insurance, and over that period of time, it grew into anything insurance. So we have a division that is purely devoted to group insurance. We do a lot of health benefits, dental benefits, group life, group disability. It's a very large contingent. I can't believe it grew to what it is. We insure large hospitals, we insure universities now, we insure law firms, we insure small 3-people groups now, and quite proud of that organization. We also have a division that is life and estate planning. I am a trust and estate planner. And so that actually fit very well with the group benefits, because we were able to see that perhaps the CEO and their executive team might need extra type of planning, or it allows us to even have the discussion on succession planning so that they can go back to their trusted individuals, lawyers, accountants, and be able to implement some really great plans. And then from there, we always had our disability arm, and it grew and grew and grew. And through all the years that we've been doing this, we had lots of opportunities to expand. And we looked at, okay, do we want to get into actual investment planning, doing the actual investments? So we thought, no, there's some great people doing investments. Let's stick to what we do really best and be really good at what we do and have some great programs in there. And so we started connecting with either people's own investment advisors or financial planners or this sort of stuff. We started working with them, and we have found that to be a really great way to grow within the industry and still be very unique. So what was exciting was 20 years ago, my daughter came into the business and she joined me. And so she started to buy me out. We were on a 10-year buyout. And in year 9, actually in year 8, my son came into the company, which was great. We're now a company of 17 people. So he came into the company. He was already working in the benefits field. He has his specialty designations in the group world. So this was really a family business. So anyways, Justine was about 6 months from owning the whole company when we got approached by one of the big companies to be sold. So just as we approached our 41st year of business, we were purchased. And of course, because Justine was so far into this buyout, it was more her decision than mine. And the decisions are very different when you're in your 40s versus when you're in your 60s. But we could see so many opportunities. So I guess what's new? What's new is that I have now survived just over a year of being employee 10036, and and I've loved it. I loved it. I wondered what was going to happen. It felt good, instinctively. I thought this is going to be a great opportunity. Justine did too, and we thought there is so much that we can do with our specialty programs that we could tack on to their programs that we could never have as a company of 17. And that turned out to be very true. They allow us still to run our own show. They did change our name to Hub Zavitz. And I have a feeling Zavitz is going to go somewhere because this big company of 60,000 employees doesn't think that Zavitz is the be-all and end-all that I do. But anyways, it's worked out really well. And so I'm happy to report that, you can be entrepreneurial within a large company and be able to do what you really want to do, which allows me to still talk to you on a level that I can totally understand as being an entrepreneur and what I consider still remaining an entrepreneur. So thank you for listening.
First, I would like to say a big thank you to Lucy. Big differences we are talking about. I'm going to either make you laugh or cry with differences between, or what's new between the last time I attended a meeting, entrepreneurs meeting. So I am no longer with the company that I established in 2009. And it looks like we share the same story with Terry. My code is the same as her code. So we have to get a coffee, Terry. What's new, obviously, since the last meeting in this world is Donald Trump and Mark Carney. That's the significant change, I think, affecting perhaps small businesses and big businesses and lives of people all across Canada, and with mentioning Donald Trump's name all across the world. But coming back to my own personal story, some of you may know, some of you not. I established a company in 2009. That company was not meant to be my company. I established a company so taxi drivers in the city can have a say, can have a power. They were the ones who have been providing and still providing that service, and have never ever had a word or a voice of how that business was regulated. All rules and regulations were imposed on them. So especially when in 2014 Uber entered the city of London, everything changed dramatically for all of them, for those families. So in 2024, by the end of it, because of certain difficulties the company had, especially diversity, which end up in some sort of internal ethnical and religion competition for power. And when things in any kind of business, even political situations come to that point, things are not going to end up very positive, unfortunately. I don't want to go through that. But we had the company sold with a consent of 66% of shareholders. Now the company is owned by two individuals who have other businesses, running other businesses. So the company in reality is focused on other businesses rather than being focused on that particular kind of business being 24/7 with over 100,000 customers, regular customers, about 300 drivers 24/7 being on the road. It's the most complicated, especially diversity part of it. It's the most complicated business you can run. It needs attention absolutely 24/7 for anybody who is on top of it, as a manager, general manager, CEO, whatever. I had that position for 15 years. It's fun, but it's organizing too, both. So I stayed with the company until almost end of January 2025. I'm no longer with that company, and that's all I can tell you. During the process of, good to mention, of selling the company, that's one of the significant benefits of this business network. So every single one of you, when we interact and we talk and we exchange ideas and listen to stories, every single one of you offer something beautiful, positive experience. And that's when, from that positive experience, I met Mr. Bernie. He was my boss to tell us to put things together, how to sell the company from legal point of view and how to structure a purchase agreement. So I want to thank him for his involvement. He was very instrumental, very significant help we received from him. And thank you for connecting us, Lucy. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Lucy, for having us out. It's good to see a lot of new people. I'm now from Grant Thornton, but we're actually now Doan Grant Thornton. That was a change that would have happened October 1st. And it was more just a name change, but in the US and other places, there's a lot of stuff going on with accounting firms and private equities buying them out. So the Canadian firm sort of wanted to separate ourselves a little bit because the Canadian firm has no plans of being owned by private equity or those type of things. I don't know if our rules even apply, but so there was a name change. But it's the same type of services that we provide. A lot has changed with business. A lot of, there's tariffs, changes in tax rules, all sorts of things out there. And I think that's the biggest part of our business. I'd say about 50% of what we do is just tax returns, financial statements, routine stuff. What I find is about half of it is succession planning, buying and selling businesses, just all sorts of things that come up. We have a client all of a sudden they decided to sell some land and they thought it might take 1 or 2 years, and all of a sudden they have an offer in a week, and you're trying to sort of advise them on how to do those type of things. Just on a personal note, what's happened sort of within the firm in the last fall is part of Grant Thornton. A lot of the growth is organic, but part of it is merging in smaller firms from other places. So in the last year, there was a lot of that, and I joined the team that sort of does the due diligence. So that was very interesting in the sense that we're advising business owners all the time in terms of what to do tax-wise, business-wise, but then you have the internal thing of running a business internally. Accounting firm is still a business, and you have to run it as a business. So it's just trying to merge in new firms and how that works. And I think some people in this room have been through where they either bought or sold or merged in business. And there's a lot of little things that people never really think about. Often it's the big idea, we're going to join this organization and everything's going to be great. But there's a lot of internal things that have to be done to make sure that those type of things are a success. I'm sure Terry, sounds like her buyout was good, but I'm sure there's a few little things, long bumps in the roads you've had along the way. So that's a big thing that I've been sort of helping with, and sort of just helping other firms come in also helps with sort of provide services to my current clients. And I guess the other thing I just note is it's been very interesting with tariffs and just a bit like the economy in London, because we see some clients are thriving, some are struggling. It's just sort of like if you're related to home building, a lot of our clients, they had a down year. Some have bounced back, some haven't. So it's just sort of interesting that every day sort of presents a new challenge in terms of what comes up. And I think that's just a big part of what we do in our office. And the last thing I'll say is, because we are a national firm, and then Southern Ontario was a business unit, but one thing we sort of changed in the last year is we've had more local operating leadership teams, because there is an element of, it's great to have the supports. Like yesterday I was on a call with US tax people. It's stuff I know nothing about. The client needs the service, so it's nice to bring in these people because they're going to be able to help our clients. But the idea is, locally, we understand our local businesses more, so they're trying to decentralize things so that we can operate our office more as sort of get the benefits of a local office, while also having all those resources of a national firm. Because sometimes you need that very local hands-on sort of attention, but other times you need to bring in the specialist, the US tax person, whatever it might be, because it's just, you can't know everything. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. It's good to be back here. Good to see so many familiar faces. I thought I didn't really miss the CEO's Club, but now that I'm here and I'm seeing all the faces and I'm hearing all of these fantastic stories, it's reminding me of the value that I had been getting all this time. I'm listening to Alex talking about how his company has grown since 2007, and I'm saying, wow, that's the inspiration that I'd been getting all this time and that I didn't realize I was missing. So it's really good to be here, and I really appreciate just how open you all have been, with your stories. So thanks, Lucy, for taking the initiative to have us here. Again, so for the few people who don't know me, I'm Donovan Francis. I'm an immigration lawyer. I own a firm called Goose Law Immigration. We support businesses primarily with their immigration needs. Maybe just about 10 years ago, I uprooted my family from Edmonton, Alberta, and decided to move to Ontario to pursue a degree in law. I was in a very good corporate job in Alberta, but I got stung by the bug. So I went to law school and decided to work for a large firm, but I wasn't happy. And so at the end of 2019, December 2019, I decided to launch my own law firm. So I decided to launch it in April of 2020. Perfect timing. Yes, and so, I plowed ahead, launched it. It's been 5 years. I started in my condominium building in Mississauga. Today we are 3 lawyers. We are currently looking to hire a 4th. And we're a team of 10 going on 11 in total. So we've grown and we continue to grow. You talked about the impact of Carney and Trump, and that has been so evident in our area of work. Steve, you talked about variations in just how these recent changes have impacted people. Some clients have been impacted more significantly than others. And for us, we noticed our clients became way more cautious after this whole tariff thing came into the picture. But gradually, people are starting to realize that, life goes on, and they've started to reach back out to us to figure out ways to get things done. And then internally within Canada, because of all the changes that have been made by our own governments, that's been impacting companies and individuals as well. And even stemming from that, I know a number of you here have reached out to me. Bernie, thank you. You've been one of the persons who's reached out. Terry, I believe you've reached out as well at some. Thank you so much. But there are companies here who have employees that are key employees to them, but who they may not be able to keep because of immigration issues. And so those are some of the things that we're seeing more of recently. And so we've been working to support that as best we can. There's much more I could talk about, but that's all I'll say for just now. But Lucy, thanks again for having put this together and having allowed somebody like me the opportunity to learn from the experiences of all of these fantastic people. I'm listening to Kerry and I'm saying, wow, Kerry, that's phenomenal. So thank you.
So when last we met, let me introduce myself. Ryan Warren. I'm a lawyer here in town. Next month will be 20 years since my call to the bar. I was looking at some pictures the other day and definitely had a lot more hair and far less gray. The profession ages you. I'm actually only 22. When I last left you, I was the partner in a law firm. At the time, it was just 2 of us and probably had about 8 employees. Last, I want to say April, my former partner dropped a bit of a bombshell. Essentially, he wanted to do his own thing, which, once the initial shock wore off, I took it as a great opportunity. Instead of looking to join another firm, I thought now's a great opportunity to go out on my own, put my own shingle out. So August 1, I opened Warren Law Group. It's a practice or a firm of 1. I thought, having been a partner in a firm and kind of doing a lot of the management for the previous year and a half, I kind of knew what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. And by that I mean everything had kind of been set up when I became a partner in my original firm. When I started on my own, it was like I was learning to walk again. I had to figure out, okay, I need insurance. Okay, I need, I got to talk to the law society. I got to change all that stuff. I got to get a new lease, bank accounts. And those are just the ones and it just kept, all of the suppliers. I had to rebrand, the tech guys, And the list goes on and on. So the last year has definitely been a bit of an awakening, a learning experience. Am I happy I did it? Yeah. I'm proud of myself. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, but then, once I get into the office, I love what I do. I love my staff. I love my clients. But I think I mentioned it to it might have been Bernie earlier. The business side of it, does take a lot out of you some days. Collecting, bill payments, all that good stuff. HR issues, client issues. Some days I just like to crawl, into the corner and, suck my thumb. But you can't, right? You have to, face all those issues head on. So August 1 will be my 1-year anniversary. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I think I'm better for it, and looking forward to the next, however many years. Okay.
Hello. Hi, Andrew Crook, broker record CFO of PC275. Last time I was here, I was the CEO of PC75. And I've since been honored to hire my wife to do that job so I can step back and to enjoy the fun part of this business, which is the numbers and the legals and dealing with the team. So, long story short, we were in Toronto for a few years. We just relocated back to London last winter, opened up a little office on Maitland and Oxford. We were doing the whole COVID virtual office thing, and we decided that actually having a little space is kind of nice. So it's a much smaller location than our big office we had before, but very happy with it, though. It's a nice little kind of a little home for us. Team 15 agents, focusing on lots of residential properties, some small commercial stuff, small business, Main Street kind of things. And it's been pretty good. Can't complain. New. We've taken on a buyer competitive strategy, which has worked out really well. We've seen a few deals come from that actually recently. So you're all familiar with listing a house for an aggressive price and then having multiple offers and making buyers compete. Well, we flipped the script on those guys, and now we take buyers out, find 4 or 5 places that work great for them, throw in 4 offers at once, and tell the selling agents that they're competing for our buyer's business and get them to squeeze on price. And we've won some very, very aggressive prices on some listings that want to sell, that need to sell. So that's been a very successful strategy from the real estate side of things. Other than that, it was a hobby, but it's now becoming kind of a main thing for me. I've been working very hard in the AI sphere. We've already transitioned our entire company over financially to an AI financial system, which is amazing. It's made my life 10 times easier as a CFO. But also I've dug deep into the LLMs, and we're working on a project right now, which I think is going to be a game changer, and I'm pretty excited for it. It's outside the real estate directly. It's a more of a kind of health and wellness, and I would say a general intelligence kind of an application for humans, and that's kind of really what I'm focusing my hobby time on. So when I'm not out there working with the team or dealing with 1,000 fires that you have as a business owner, I spend a lot of my extra hours, evenings and weekends working on these projects, and so hopefully I'll be able to introduce that to you guys. But I have actually rolled out some stuff on LinkedIn with it, just some prototype options I'm working on right now, if you're interested. And anything else to say new? Well, you mentioned politics. You can check out my LinkedIn profile if you want to see my thoughts on those kind of things. me and Lucy have had lots of conversations about that. So, yeah, I'm well aware. I won't go further than that. So, anyways, yeah, it's all in all, happy to be here and happy to be back in person, and looking forward to working with you guys in the future. So, thank you for your time. Cheers.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. If you thought about having a conversation about not having a doctor is grim, imagine not having a doctor and having credit card debt. So I'm the insolvency guy, so I'm the second most grim, or I might be ahead of you, I'm not sure. So my name's Kevin. I own Paul J. Pickering and Associates. We're a licensed insolvency trustee firm here in London and surrounding area. We've been in business for 36 years this October. I've managed it for the last 7. The biggest thing new in our industry right now, as already mentioned, we're primarily a consumer-based, small business, sole proprietor and entrepreneur stuff. About a third of my clients are entrepreneurs. Right now, for businesses, it's tariffs and uncertainty. So a lot of people are just hitting pause. So a lot of people have delayed growth strategies right now. A lot of people have delayed building projects, expansion projects, because a lot of people just don't know what to do. From the smaller side, I'm seeing a lot of trade individuals come into my office because home building has come to a halt, especially new construction. You're seeing some of the builders right now offer large incentives, but a lot of the trades individuals that relied on those projects are coming in because they need help. A lot of, many people don't know this, but a lot of entrepreneurs and sole proprietors and those types of things rely on Canada Revenue to supplement some of their operations, so they'll delay paying HST, payroll, income tax. Well, CRA is still coming after people pretty aggressively right now. So they're kind of getting hit with a slowdown in work, so they can't meet ongoing obligations and payment requests by CRA. And now with the halt and slowdown, a lot of people are seeking help that way. The other big news that I've seen is if anyone follows the real estate market, we just had Andrew speaking, what we're noticing that I haven't seen in probably 10 or 11 years is people walking away from homes again. So this is, they don't have the ability to sell their properties for what they were listed at, or for what they owe on the mortgages. A lot of people have first mortgages, second mortgages, those types of things. So a lot of people aren't able to sell those things because the charges against the land or the mortgages won't consent to the sale because it's below value. So a lot of people right now, if you're looking at real estate from, if that's part of your investment strategy, there's some good opportunities. That's not my wheelhouse, but I'm just seeing it from an anecdotal perspective, that there's great buying opportunities. The downside is if you're trying to liquidate or retire and go rent, it's tough when you thought, hey, I want my property at 2 or 3 years ago, and it's not those numbers anymore. But once again, Cavan with Paul J. Pickering, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vic Ramachandran. I was the CEO, am the CEO of Labely. What's new since I last met with you guys a while back? On a personal note, I've been inducted into something known as the 8-inch Zipper Club. Thanks to the wonderful people at MedPoint. They discovered a pretty serious health condition, and I had to go for a pretty significant bypass surgery earlier this year. So I've been out of action for a while, but I'm getting my toes back in. So if you don't have a membership at MedPoint, please get one. It'll save your life. Thanks, Alex.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. What's been happening in my industry? What is Labely? We're a software as a service platform that helps employers hire qualified candidates. I'm sure all of you who have done any kind of hiring have experienced what I call the avalanche of resumes. You do a job fair, you'll have 500 people lining up, and you'll have a stack of resumes, and what do you do with that? The amount of time it takes to process that. So we built a platform that helps you find the right candidates, put them before you, so that you don't have to spend a whole week or 2 weeks going through information. You can do that in, I'd say, a day or so. Changes in industry, I think that everyone's looking for a job, or at least that's what they say. Turnout at job fairs, we've run a couple of job fairs, it's pretty crazy. We did one in February, and we had 500 people show up for a 2-hour job fair. So I'm sure people are, it's no longer an employee market. I think employers have the upper hand right now when it comes to dealing with or looking for employees. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My wife has been holding everything down, and she's going to tell you about everything she does. So someone mentioned that they had their wife be the CEO. She's been running the show, and that since I've been away. But I'm happy to be back, and good to see all of you here today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And yes, when I heard that story, I nudged him. Did you hear that? He got his wife to be the CEO, and he did what he thought was fun and liked to do best. I was like, Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Jane Ramachandran. I'm President and CEO of Resonant Business Solutions and co-founder of Laborly. And it's great to be here. Again, thanks for the invitation, Lucy, to Vic and myself. So what is Resonant? We help people find the right funding, build strategic partnerships, and hire work-ready talent. That's what we do. So people usually come to us because they need money. What kind of money do you need? So sometimes people think, oh, it's grants. I see all the headlines. Now with tariffs, this is a new thing. Tariff support, great. But is it the right kind of funding, right? So that's what we help them figure out. It's been very helpful that we have a team that has a very diverse range of expertise in lots of different sectors. So we can do everything from not-for-profits to for-profits and colleges and universities. So one of the unique things that's happening right now in this space is, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but there's a lot of layoffs in the post-secondary sector. Like you see all kinds of news stories right now. People are being laid off, whole departments and schools are closing, and it's a very fragile, like the whole system is fragile. And so even though the colleges and universities are frankly the majority of our revenue right now, what we've found is we can look at this, and maybe you can apply this to whatever sector you're in, as what are we gonna do? Like everything's crumbling. But instead I'm thinking, wow, what an opportunity. How can we be a bridge in this tragic season where people need help? So this is what we're trying to do. We're reaching out directly to organizations, individuals, and not just colleges and universities, but others. And so that's one of the areas that we've really branched out more aggressively. We fired our lead building people because that was costing way too much. And I thought, well, if I'm going to spend $5,000 a month, I'd rather pay my own people and help support my own company and build the skills and within our own company to do that. So that's one thing that's new that we're trying out. Another thing that's new, I'm doing a little bit more speaking. So I've been really resisting being out in the spotlight because it's just, I don't really enjoy it. And one of my team members said, Jane, the only way that the people are going to know about your company is if you actually are talking about your company. So I'm starting to do a little bit more speaking, a bit more like getting out there, but even social. I know Lucy is just like every day. She's like, Jane, all you got to do every day, just right, just do it. And Lucy, it's hard. So I don't know if any of you guys can relate, but it's really building up that muscle of having a POV, point of view, and then actually actioning it, like doing something about it. So this is where I'm kind of in that new season of doing keynotes, I'm doing like talking, because I love to teach everything I know and I want people to benefit from it. Not just in that one sector of post-secondary, but any sector that can benefit. So that's something that's new. I think that's it. I think that's what I missed the instructions at the beginning, but I'm sure it's like what's been happening. One more thing that changed, if it's all right, is my whole the business structure. I'm rethinking. So I'm always thinking, how do you iterate as you go? Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're just going to keep getting what you got. So I'm rethinking our whole business structure, our offerings, and our whole revenue model, in fact, and rethinking even like how do we reach out to people that we've never worked with before? How do we reach out to more of the same? And how do we structure our team? So with that, I'm starting to go into more of a distributed model where we have a network of a team around us, but our core team is smaller, and a network of additional team members that are available as needed. And just from a cash flow point of view and from we'll call it a risk mitigated approach, it really helps to run the company in a way that's not that chug every month that's as high as it can be if you have a huge employee team. So that's just something. Since we're all CEOs, I thought I'd just share some of my learnings and some of the things that have really changed and shifted a little bit. And it's been a privilege to actually work with Vic's team because we have a totally different corporate culture on Vic's side than mine because we are absolutely different people. So, so that's been really wonderful, and it's been a privilege actually to help support the areas that Vic was carrying and to see how we can reintegrate him. So.
So good. Still morning, everyone. How are you? My name is Bashar Saba. Well, I'm a part of Transworld Business Advisor, so it's an international company. We specialize in mergers, acquisitions, but my story goes far beyond that. I started my life traveling around the world, going from England to Austria, Germany, France. I lived in all of them, then went back to the Middle East again. I managed multiple companies. I had multiple companies. I established my own business. I sold it for one of the companies. I became the head of that company, and that's in the Persian Gulf area. And I helped them restructure, the entire business model. And that's where actually, in that area, I learned the word diversity. And I understood it. I understood it not from just the human point of view, but also business point of view. And that was very important. I got to understand how do you accommodate certain products that in one market into another market, because we have diverse population, we have different people, different tastes, and so on. And that's why, that's how, I started understanding even more things. I got also fascinated in the financial part of the businesses as well. So I got into it until I came here. I worked in the mergers, acquisitions, and normalizations of numbers and so on, all of that stuff. Then we started, and I assumed that every business owner would understand what he's doing at a certain period of time until we, in the mergers, acquisitions, you meet God in the world. And when you came to the point, for example, of picking lawyers for a certain transaction, a client goes and picks a lawyer who's not business transactional. And then another story starts there. I don't want to get into those details, right? And that's, that got me interested and got me exposed to many businesses. Now, I enjoyed that part, but I missed one thing: scalability, scaling businesses. Okay, transactional, I get it, I love it. I help people buy, sell, whatever that is, merge or not. But then what's after that? It's just a transaction, and it moves and so on. So that's where, with our company, our sister company is quite big company of franchising in the United States and around the world. So I started working with both because I just wanted to have something a bit more continuous than just those transactions. And then I started consulting for certain companies at the beginning, how to scale up looking at their valuation. So valuation is a very important part. It's not just to sell, it's to understand where you're at. It could correct your course. And that's what we started doing. But I said, I do still miss something. It's to leverage, my international experience, my life. And that's where I decided I want to help even more businesses grow, get into businesses, and so on. Until I met Lucy. And funny enough, yesterday night I had friends coming over for drinks. It was a long night, so I said, I've got to wake up and go there in the morning. And one of the major subjects that came up was Lucy. I don't know how did she show up. She does not know any of them. But she showed up there somehow, her name at least, right? And that fascinated me. It's because I had lots of good stuff to say. And I'm impressed with two things, to tell you the truth, Lucy. So how you built this up? But I think you have a totally different other side that you need to coach people on. And that's really saying it straight. The way you look at money and financials and how you plan it for your, how you say no for certain things. I have enough, thank you. I'm very happy. That is something that I do really, that fascinated me, to tell you the truth about you. And that came up yesterday, and I told them, she has a totally different way of looking at things. And I love that. She should coach it to people. And, but I see the opportunity, and with what you established, CEO Club, Entrepreneur Nation, Kenya, all of that, look, it's a great opportunity for you to go bigger if you love money. I've got no idea, Lucy, what's in there. But seriously, I admire what you did. And that's why I had this conversation with certain people in Egypt, and now we want to see how to develop that as well. Definitely Dubai is on the target, but sometime, right?
And Poland.
Poland, absolutely, Poland. Oh, absolutely, and Poland is a promising country. It's a promising country, and there are people who are really entrepreneurial in their mind. You know, people in Poland, I love the way they're structured and so on. Our president in Transworld is Polish, by the way. Yeah, so, yeah, and yeah, so that's really what I do in general. You know, I help scale businesses, bring up businesses, sell businesses, buy businesses. I worked with venture capitalists. I worked, you know, across the board. And it is really fascinating. It's a fascinating world, you know, to see the opportunities. Sometimes you look at certain businesses from numbers point of view and you say, but you have to see the passion behind people. And that's where I say that things would work. So yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, Lucy. Thank you so much.
As the brand ambassador for the Entrepreneur Nation, because every time he goes even to have a drink with people, he's talking about Lucy and the Entrepreneur Nation. He has sent so many people to me, so he's our brand ambassador. Thank you so much.
Obviously, this has been great. It's been nice to see people that we haven't seen for quite a while, listen to people, see what they're up to, and there's so many things. You know, if we had nothing to do today, I could spend the whole day here just talking to you about everybody who talked here. I had 10 questions for, because I wanted to know more about what, you know, Andrew's thoughts on the AI and LLMs, and Donovan's growth, and you know, everybody, Jane's restructuring. Like, it's just so cool to hear about what you're up to. But Lucy's got a new chapter, endeavor, that she's starting, and I'd like to hear from Lucy, and Lucy would like to share with you what she wants, what she's thinking about, and what she's launching.
I'm always launching something.
Yes.
I'm always thinking about something to keep myself busy. I think coming here as an immigrant to Canada, where I didn't know people, I had to keep myself busy. And keeping myself busy was to always think of what do I do tomorrow, so I don't get bored. So I think you also on LinkedIn that my father passed away in April. And he passed away just a week before I came back to Canada, because I'm a snowbird now. And in Kenya, the people came, so many of them, over 400 people to bury my father, right? Over 400 people. And so I thought, what do I do to give back? I realized that my father was so well known by people that we didn't even think so ourselves. You know how people value you more than your own family? So I thought, I didn't want my father's name to die with him. I wanted my father's name to continue, and I want to give back to the 400 people and their families that came to bury my father. And you know, in Kenya, they have mobile banking. They just text the money. So we gave them a phone number, and they just text the money, over 10,000, and in Kenya, that is over 1 million Kenya shillings, was enough to do everything. So we never spent money from our pockets. So I thought, how can I give back to these people, right, that gave us so much money, so much attention? So I decided to start, there they call them foundation, but Lele has coached me that here it's charity. or not for profit. So I'm starting a foundation in Kenya in the name of my father, and just to help the village, not the whole country, just the village. Help schools, go to schools and give uniforms. Uniforms could be $5 just for one person. So I can give uniforms to the children, give books, teach women, help women different things. And my father died of prostate cancer, and I felt that I need to find a way to gather men and talk to them about prostate cancer, but not me talking about it. Find men who will talk to men about prostate cancer. Because what happened is my father was not willing to talk to anybody about it, right? He was only communicating with his doctor. He was not comfortable to talk to my sister about it, and I understand. So if I can gather men in the village who will also speak to other men about these things and bring doctors, I think I can help my village. And my father's name can continue. But then I'm Canadian also. I'm a Canadian citizen. There's no way I'm going to do things for Kenya and not do it in Canada. So that's why I've been involved in Lele. We are forming a charity here as well. But in Canada, we may be focusing on awareness for prostate cancer. And so I asked Lele, will men appreciate that it's a woman who is starting something like that? And that's where now I'll leave you, Lele, to tell them how you think that it will be accepted here in Canada. So you're coming back, Lele.
Okay. Tag. No. It's funny, when Lucy asked me about that, she says, does it make sense for a woman to be trying to promote awareness and dealing with prostate cancer? And I said, why not? I said, because your story is very, I use the word story, of course, but your situation was very real, because whether it's prostate cancer or any other kind of, wellness issue, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, and in particular, guys don't like to talk about. Guys don't talk to other guys as much as women might, and for whatever reason, and it's an awareness issue. And I said, why not? I mean, if you can do something to elevate that. I mean, Lucy's got a multifaceted sort of interest from her in terms of a charity. It's not just prostate cancer awareness, because there's also issues about poverty and helping out her village and stuff like that. But so it's going to be a several part to it. But on the prostate cancer itself, like I just couldn't see anything wrong with why not. In fact, one of the things I said to her is having more women talk to their men about it is probably something that would help us, generally speaking, because if my wife was kind of pushing me to go get checked more than I do, or if I wasn't getting checked to get checked, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll go get checked. And sometimes it's the little nudges that we get from different angles. So, movements like Movember, of course, I mean, they're great. But can we use more little nudges? I mean, finding out anything, I'm sure Alex can tell us, like, till the cows come home, finding out things early is really, really critical. Vic has told us that, he's ahead of the ball game, of course, because he found something out early enough to be able to do something about it. But a lot of people don't. So, yeah, I think every step you can take, Lucy, is going to be in the right direction. Lucy, so I'm going to get ahead of Lucy a little bit and say, Lucy's obviously the one that's pushing this new venture. Not so much a venture, charity, let's call it a charity. It'll start off as a nonprofit, and then she'll try and get charitable registration. She's going to need some directors. Yes. She doesn't want a big board. Lucy does a lot of the work, but any kind of an organization like that needs some directors. And of course, I mean, I'm sure she'll talk to other people in her other chapters of the Entrepreneur Nation, but if anybody is interested in these very worthy causes, of course, I'm sure she'd like to hear from you. So I'm not asking anybody to put their hands up at this meeting, but something certainly to think about. And people who are, have a little bit of time that they want to sort of devote to these, like I said, very worthy causes, Lucy, I'm sure, would be welcoming you with open arms. While I'm up here, I also wanted to again, if you don't mind me just kind of going on, what's your take on future meetings like this? We were almost doing a monthly breakfast, so at least during the, the business months or the school months, as we call them in Canada. Is there a sense that people would like to get back to doing sort of a monthly breakfast meeting? And not as long as this. I mean, because I think we were doing them 8 to 9 originally. And so people were back at the office shortly after 9 o'clock and had a regular office day. In fact, let's do a short little poll. How many people would like to see like a monthly breakfast, quick little breakfast meeting versus, and I'll just throw this out, something more like a quarterly or 3 times a year, more extended meeting? I personally would rather see a round table, often like we had at the London Club, because I don't find podiums are great for conversations, and I would like to see an opportunity for people to sort of chat, not just amongst themselves, but if you're around the table, being able to ask questions of each other about what they're talking about and what they're what's going on in their lives and their work lives and stuff like that. So whether it be once a month or once a quarter or 3 times a year, I think it should be something more of a round table approach to it. At least that's my opinion. So maybe a quick poll, how many people would like to see at least, when I say monthly, I'm talking about maybe, September to May. Probably not.
So, but as you said that, Lily, I just want them to know that I was unable to organize this every month. And especially when I'm in Kenya, the time frame is different. Daytime is nighttime, so I didn't want to commit to organizing something when I was very far away. Like the chapters Navy takes care of the London chapter, I don't have to worry about the time. So as we think about that, are there also people who are willing to volunteer to help, to work with me to manage it and make it work?
So I think the starting point though is how often would people want to meet? And if there's a sense that people want to meet, whether it's monthly or let's call it quarterly, then we'll figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of, jumping the gun a little bit on Lucy's problem, of course, is who's going to help organize it. Well, if people want to meet, I think there's many ways to help it happen and to organize it. If people aren't really that interested and make this an occasional thing that happens once or twice a year, that's fine too. But how many people would like to go back to a monthly type meeting, like 8 or 9 months a year? Just run.
I personally, I'd rather go quarterly. I think this is great. It's great to see everybody. With just my personal and business life right now, I don't know if I can do something monthly, but quarterly I think would be fantastic. Also, before you go to, because I know Lucy's waiting for me to have a joke. Your tagline for the prostate thing should be nudges from different angles, as you said.
Yeah.
Thank you.